Fall Fun Fact.
Did you know an average semi-load of wheat can make around 42,000 loaves of bread? Well, now you know.
It's draw time with Mr. Mayberry. Time to draw.
Hi, welcome to Draw Time with Mr. Mayberry, Falltime Edition. It's Harvest Week on Draw Time, so we're drawing things that have to do with the fall harvest. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a shock of wheat. So let's get started. It's time to draw. Okay, I have my paper turned horizontal and I'm just using a regular pencil to draw. I'm going to start off right here in the center and draw just a basic shape for what the shock would look like. It's going to be wider at the bottom and then get narrower as it goes up. And you want to save room up here for the grain sticking out. We're using wheat. Now, a shock or a stook, or it actually comes from stack, it's a gathering of whatever is being harvested. It's placed together in bundles so that the grain is up on top, away from the ground, and allows it to dry out, and keeps it safe until it's gathered up to be threshed. And so anyway, we start off with a wide base here. It gets narrow at the top. But always remember to start off drawing light because we will change some things as we go. This one is it's a collection of a lot of stalks of wheat, so there's going to be a lot of separate lines here that are random. So if we start off with this kind of shape, this will kind of hold it all together. Then in the center, I'm going to have, they take some of the strands of wheat and wrap them around and are able to tie it together, fasten it together. Or I'm sure you could use twine or something like that, but usually I think they just use the wheat stalks. So they curve around the outside edges, wrap around, and then we're going to have, from the bottom up, we're just going to make some individual lines that are kind of scratchy, like that. And then I'm going to show that this is actually a couple of parts that are placed together. So I want to have this side here is going to be coming up at a different angle and going behind that one there. Now, this is used as a symbol a lot of times for harvest. When you see shocks, either of wheat or corn or some different grain, it just represents the time of harvest when all this is done, when this is all gathered up. And so that's why we're using it for fall week. For harvest week, fall harvest week. At the top, I'm going to kind of curve this out on either side just a little bit. And I'll have the grain going slanting across this way. So it's like these pieces here, they're kind of twisting and coming up at an angle this way. And then on the other side here, from behind that, they're going this direction. Okay, so that's just the basic layout of where everything's at. And then the individual, we're going to show some of the wheat, the heads of wheat up here. And so what I need to do is make a piece that's a longer piece that sticks up, maybe curves a little towards the end. And then I'm going to build the end here just by putting it's going to start off close together and then get wider as it goes down. But what I'm doing is just like a little V, and then another one below that, and another one below that. Each one's a little bit bigger. And you can decide how far to go down. I think right about there is probably pretty good. So that would be one stalk with the grain on top. And we're going to be making several of these. So I'm going to put them going both directions. Now on the left side, I think I will make it look like they've bent out just a little here. And they're going to be different lengths. So this is all going to be random. So if you understand the technique of how to draw one, then you can place them wherever you want. And that's basically what we're doing. So once you can draw the end like that, then you can just make up as you go where they're going to be. So I'm going to put one here, do one next to that. Let's end just a little. If you get good at this, you can go pretty quick too. You can go kind of speedy, but just back and forth. Some of them may overlap a little too. It's almost a little bit like a feather where it's pointy on the end and then gets wider as it goes down. You could also go the other direction. You could start at the bottom and work up, and the checks would each get smaller as they go up. So that's another thing you could do. So I could start here with a wider V. Again, you want to have a line down the center so you know what you're following, but it centers on that line and goes up towards the top. So just go ahead and make several of these around different places. Fill it out till you think it looks right. Now that all looks the same, so I don't want to do that. I want it to get wider, each one coming down. Or narrower going out. Another way to do that is to, I'll put one right in here, is to, you could go down one side and make them get wider and then go down the other side and get wider. So there's a couple different ways to do these. Okay, now after you have it kind of filled out where you've got plenty of grain up here, then we're going to do a little shading. Okay, so I want to make it look like this is closer to us here. So we'll see more of these lines, and then I want to add some shadow back here, so it makes it look like it's overlapped just a little bit more. And then this is closer to us. Maybe a little shadow under here. And shadow underneath where this is wrapped, and then also down on this side, like behind this section here. I need to add another one here. Again, when you're drawing things of nature, not everything is going to look perfectly straight. There's going to be a lot of crooked lines and rough edges, and that's perfectly okay. So don't worry about everything looking just perfect on this drawing. And at the bottom, I'm going to make kind of a zigzag line all the way across. And you can draw some maybe individual lines in there so you can see them better. I want to make it look like this is sitting someplace out in a field, so I'm going to draw a horizon line. Now if you you could make a whole field of these, and you would make them different sizes. The ones that are closer to us and lower down on the ground would be larger. The ones that are farther away and up higher on the page are going to be smaller. So you could make a whole field of this, and maybe even some people out cutting the wheat and bundling them into shocks like this. Okay, go ahead and clean up your drawing, get rid of any stray lines. Well, you might leave a few stray lines since it is kind of a wild shock here. Add color if you'd like. And this is our drawing for today. a shock of wheat. Well, now you know how to draw a shock of wheat. I'd like to take a moment and ask you to be careful if you happen to travel the road with farmers during the fall harvest. Well, that's all for now. Thank you for taking time to draw with me. I hope we come back again, and remember, if you want to be a good artist, do a little drawing every day.
That's beautiful.
42,000 loaves of bread. You know what that means. 840,000 peanut butter sandwiches.